Welcome to Barbecuing with Bolen, the activity for students who are tired of its learning pages and Teams meetings. So if you're interested in learning how to cook, if you want to become a pit master, or if you just want to make fun of one of your goofy teachers, then join us for today's episode. Hi Rockdale Magnet. Today I'm going to be smoking some beautiful St. Louis style ribs on my big green egg. So if you're interested in learning about barbecue or a little bit more about cooking, then come join me as we learn to cook some beautiful St. Louis style ribs. So we're in my kitchen now. We have a rack of St. Louis style ribs. These are spare ribs that have been butchered St. Louis style. So we trim them up nice, take off a little bit of the fat, took off the silver skin on the back, and we season them up with a little rib rub and a little mustard you might see there. It's kind of like the glue. It's going to hold the rub to the ribs and help build that crust that everybody likes. And in the barbecue world, we call that crust bark, but that's what people are really after. So my fire is well on the way to burning down. My coals are just about ready. You can start to see some smoke coming from the egg. You'll also notice that I have my plate setter off to the right of my egg. I'm going to put my plate setter on here in just a minute, and I'll show you that setup. But you use a plate setter for indirect cooking. When you barbecue, you want to cook indirect so you can get that nice slow smoke on that meat. Today we're going to be cooking at 225 degrees. It's going to take about 3 to 3.5 hours for these St. Louis style ribs. But we're not going to judge about time. We're going to use a thermometer to try to make sure that we hit those temperatures and get that meat cooked just like we like it. So right now I've set my grill up for indirect cooking. If you look down in there, you can probably see the plate setter. Yeah, you don't see the fire right now. That's because the plate setter is dividing the hot coals from the meat that'll be on the grate. You also might notice that my grate's pretty dirty. I want to make sure you clean that up, and that's why I put the wire brush in the frame for you. I want to make sure you clean your grate before you start cooking because you don't want that. All right, we're coming up on about 2 hours on this cook, and what we're going to do now is just take a peek at the ribs. You can see they're starting to get a nice color. We don't have any burning. We've kept it under that 300 degree temperature, so our rub is just caramelizing nice and giving us that nice color. They're not done yet. I don't think it's worth checking on the temperature gauge yet, but we're gonna shut it back down and let it cook. I think it's probably about time to sauce the ribs. I've gone ahead and opened up the vents and let it get a little hotter. So right now I'm getting close to that 300 degree mark. I want to keep my egg from going above 300. It's going to cool off significantly when I open the top. Here we have a nice rack of ribs. And so what we're going to do now is sauce them up. I'm going to be using a barbecue sauce, a little molasses in it. I like the sweet taste for ribs, but I encourage you to use any sauce that you like. Try your favorites, try different ones. I'm going to sauce them up, and we'll be right back. Hours, about 15 minutes at 300 degrees. We got a beautiful set of ribs here. Beautiful rack of ribs. Nice color. We're going to hit them with a pin, a thermo pin. We're looking for about that 205 degree temperature. I love what I'm seeing there. It's going to be nice and tender. The folks eating with me tonight like fall off the bone ribs. Another good check on ribs if you don't have a pin is the break test. You'll see them starting to crack right there. That's when you know they're nice and tender and juicy. You can hear the juice falling on the fire. I'm going to take them off right now. I'm going to get them on the pan, and we're going to let them sit for about 10 minutes, and then we're going to eat them. Thanks for joining us for this episode of Barbecuing with Bolen. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to hit that like and that subscribe button down below. But most importantly, make sure you take time to get into the kitchen and cook for those people you love. We'll see you next time on Barbecuing with Bolen.